Hey, Richest you Money Maniacs, welcome back. I'm really excited to have you on this particular video series. In this series, what's better than a 401k? What's better than a mutual fund? What's better than real estate? We're going to talk about that in this video, but before we go into that, make sure you hit that like button and definitely click the subscribe button. Here we go, right into it, the Better Than series. Hey, Richest You Money Maniacs, Tom coming at you again from the Richest You. We're in the Better Than series, and these videos are designed to give you the difference specifically between the laser fund, which is I'm a huge fan of, and all of the other different investment and retirement instruments and options that are out there. In this particular video, we're going to talk about the difference between the laser fund versus your own personal home that you live in. Now, there's an important distinction there because we're not talking about real estate in general. Those rules are very different. A personal dwelling receives different benefits than real estate or commercial or investment real estate. Okay, so what is a laser fund again? I want to make sure that in case you just came into this series, this is the first time you've heard of a laser fund, I want to describe it very briefly in summary. And if this summary is not enough information for you, make sure you check out one of my other videos where I describe it in detail. Also, feel free to go down into the description of this video and click on the link for liveabundant.com. That will actually take you to the website for Doug Andrew, who actually coined the phrase laser fund. He also has a YouTube channel called Three-Dimensional Wealth. And he's been a financial advisor and financial planner for 45 years. That's why I'm sharing this information, not because I found it or created it. I'm sharing it because I use it in my personal life. I actually have one for myself, a laser fund, and I have one for my business to protect myself and my business. But even better is that his information and experience is being shared in his book and on his website and his videos for free. So once you hear this here, and if it makes sense to you and you want to learn more, definitely go to that link below. But remember, I am not a financial advisor. I am not an accountant. I'm not even a certified professional in any financial industry. I am just a person who's used this information in their personal life, and I'm sharing it with you now. And I feel so strongly about this, especially with the market crash that happened this last week, that I'm videotaping the Saturday after the huge crash, because it's so important to me to get this information out to as many people as physically possible so that people do not lose their homes and do not lose all of their savings and do not lose all of their retirement and actually can make money even when the market is going down. All right, so let's get right into it. The difference between a laser fund and a home in this Better Than series. But here's something that's important. What is the laser fund? The summary real quick is it's a universal life insurance that's a tax-advantaged insurance contract and is indexed against the market. So that's technically what it is, but he calls it the laser fund. Doug Andrew does. Now, a laser fund allows you to make maximum contributions into your insurance piece to receive minimum death benefit. Now, why would you do that? Most people think, oh no, I want to pay a little bit into my insurance and get a lot of money out if I die. Well, how does that help you while you're alive? The whole point of using a laser fund is to be able to use your money tax-free while you're alive and to have it make money for you tax-free while you're alive. Now, just to ease your mind, this code in the IRS that allows this to happen legally is 100 years old. They're not interested in changing it, but there are certain rules like TEFRA and DEFRA that you have to follow. That's why you'll need a laser fund expert, because I'm not going to say an accountant or a tax expert. It needs to be a laser fund expert like Doug, like Emran, and like Aaron Andrew. They have been doing it for so long. They are the experts. They are the people who you want to make sure you speak to about how do I set this up for myself. But in this video, we're going to discuss the difference because a lot of people think that their home is their personal, that's their best investment, when actually that's not necessarily true. When the market goes down, the stock market goes down, and then home values go down, that expensive home that you're paying for now, you couldn't even sell it if you wanted to. Things are upside down. Your mortgage is more than the value of the home. So we're going to get into that. What is the laser fund? It allows you to put money into it. Then that money, even when the market goes down, never goes below whatever amount you put in. So it's zero is the hero is the word there, meaning that, okay, so you're not making the average of 8 to 10% per year. This year it went down, and so you only make 0%, but your principal doesn't go away. In IRAs and 401ks and mutual funds and all of that stuff, and even in homes, when the market crashes, you lose that value. That value, people are not going to pay you what it was worth last week even. So that's the difference. In the laser fund, your money stays valuable. It stays there. And then when the market starts to recover, it goes up too. So you're not trying to catch up and then start growing again years later. You're already where you were. So as soon as it starts to recover, you go up too, and you just get more. And the best part about that is it's tax-free money that you're making. So interest that you're making off your laser fund, usually you get taxed on interest, right? But not inside of a laser fund. You get that tax-free. Plus, you can borrow against the laser fund and take out 90% of your principal. But your principal stays the same because you're using it as collateral. And so that 90% is like doubling your money. And on top of it, your interest that you pay on that loan, you don't have, that's tax deductible. That interest on a loan is a tax incentive deduction. Then on top of it, you never have to pay this loan back. Why? Because when you die, your death benefit on the laser fund will pay off any of the outstanding loans that you took out against it. That's the first thing the money goes to. So it's up to you if you want to pay that loan back or not. If you do pay it back, well then of course you're getting more money into your principal, and of course so it's growing faster. So it really depends on what you're able to withstand and what you're interested in doing in terms of where you want your money to grow. Now, the list of features that you should expect from an optimized investment tool, instrument, or retirement plan are as follows. Liquidity, because you want to have use and control of it. You want to have safety so that it's protected from your market loss. You would like to have predictable rates of return. Wouldn't that be nice to know how much money each year you're going to make, at least as a minimum? Also, you want to make sure that you have tax-free access to your money. And remember something, with a laser fund, you've already been taxed on it as income. When you make those premium payments, those are after-tax dollars. So once it's in the laser fund, hey, you did your part. You helped keep the government running. You helped keep the lights on and the roads being built, right? Why should you be taxed again? You should also have tax deferred as an option if you want to. Now, I would never suggest that, and only for the simple reason because taxes never go down. That's why I would never encourage anyone to use a tax deferred option. They always go up, and I said this in the other videos, I'll say it again. The Office of General Accountability for the U.S. government has assured us that taxes will be required to be raised to as much as 60% just to cover spending that's occurring now. Imagine how much more spending the government will have acquired by the time you decide to retire. 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. They will be way higher, out of control. So pay your taxes now and get into a laser fund and enjoy tax-free. Tax-deductible payments are also an optimal feature. You should be able to have tax-deductible payments, or maybe you shouldn't. You should also have tax-free wealth transfer. If you want to give this to somebody, it's your money, you've paid tax on it, you should be able to give it to whoever and not have them get taxed again too. You should be able to access your money penalty-free. You should also be able to leverage your instrument or your retirement plan or your investment. You should also be able to use that tool as collateral. And the last optimal feature is that it should behave as a disability benefit. All right, so we're comparing the laser fund to a personal residence, a home that you own. So let's look at those features and compare them side by side. So for a home, does a home make your money liquid and allow for use and control? Yes, with an equity line. If you actually take an equity line of credit out, you can access your money. It's kind of difficult to make that happen. And of course, it's only for what you have in terms of equity. So it's only how much the house is worth versus less than what you owe on a mortgage. Because remember something, the mortgage means actually it's not your asset. Who owns the note? The bank does. So whose asset is your personal home really when you have a mortgage? It's the bank's asset. Yeah, you're making the payments and they give you the privilege of living there. But never forget that. If a dollar is leaving your pocket for any reason, that's a liability. It is not an asset. The only person or entity that can call a personal residence an asset is the entity that receives money for it, that it puts a dollar into their pocket. Now, of course, at some point in the future, if you sell your home, then it puts money in your pocket because you sell it for more than what you owe on your mortgage. Well, then it becomes an asset and then you get taxed like crazy on it. So then you can call it an asset. Until then, though, the only way you could really get liquid money is by taking out a loan from the bank on the value, the difference between the mortgage and what your home is worth. So the next feature for a home, does it provide safety, is it protected from market loss? No, it is not. When the market goes down, the value of your home goes down. And very often, we've seen this many, many times in just the last couple of decades, 2008 and now 2020, people own homes that they owe more mortgage on than their home is actually worth. You watch. Real estate values are going to plummet after this last crash. You just watch what happens with construction and homes. Watch very, very, very closely. Now, the next feature is predictable rates of return. No, a home doesn't provide a predictable rate of return. It's according to how the market moves and how home values move. Does allow for tax-free access to your money. To IRS limits, yes, but it's very restrictive. The IRS is very, very restrictive on how much you can access, especially tax-free. Tax-deferred. Yes, it is possible on a home to have tax-deferred money investment, but you never want it to be tax deferred. You want to pay your taxes now and get them out of the way because they're only going to go up. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Taxes always go up. This is just given. The government never stops spending more money every year. Tax deductible payments. Interest portion only. So yes, you can have tax deductions on your payments for your mortgage, but only on the interest of the loan that you're paying. So it's very little and it's very restricted. Tax-free wealth transfer, again, to IRS limitations, only to what the IRS code allows for. So again, it's very limited. You have to be very careful. Penalty-free. Yes, you can access the money penalty-free. It's your home. You can take out an equity line and you're not going to get a penalty for that. Unless, of course, the equity line has penalties for paying it off too soon. That could be a challenge. Can you leverage your personal home? Yes, it's possible. But again, you have to be very careful about how you do it, and it's very restrictive. And if you do it wrong, watch out for those taxes and those fines and fees and penalties. Can you use your home as collateral? Yes, of course you can. Except that, remember, it's not really your asset. It's just the bank's asset. And now you're collateralizing it. You're using it as leverage or collateral, and it's not really your asset. So you also have to be careful there. You could be going beyond a certain point that you can actually financially withstand. So be very careful. Does it provide any kind of disability benefit? No, a personal home does not. All right, so let's talk about the comparison. That's how the home stacks up with these features. What about a laser fund? Does it provide liquidity? Yes, it absolutely does. Does a laser fund provide safety and protect from market loss? Yes, it absolutely does. It's wonderful. It's just almost like a miracle tool. Does the laser fund provide predictable rates of return? Yes, but not only does it provide predictable rates of return, but when the market goes down, you never go below zero. Your principal amount never goes down. even when the market crashes like it did this last week. Tax-free access to your money. Oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, you can access your money tax-free. Yeah, nice. Tax-deferred payments. Yes, you can do them tax-deferred, but as I've said many, many times, I wouldn't suggest that because taxes always go up, right? Let's not forget that. Where do taxes usually go? Up. Where do they go? They usually go up. Yeah, taxes. Are they going to bring taxes down next year? I heard they're going to bring them down. No, they're actually going to raise them again. How? Isn't that interesting? People would even begin to doubt that they're going to raise taxes. Of course they're going to raise taxes. They give themselves raises every year. Well, I'm not going to get into that. Here we go. Tax deductible payments. Does a laser fund offer tax deductible payments? No, it does not, because you don't want to. You want to pay your taxes now and put that money into a laser fund so it's protected for the rest of your life, and the interest that you make off it is protected for the rest of your life. You don't want it to be a tax deductible payment. You want to pay your taxes now, get it out of the way, and then make money off of it for the rest of your life, tax-free. Does a laser fund provide for tax-free wealth transfer? Yes, it does. Isn't that wonderful? You can give your money to whoever you like, tax-free. Does the laser fund offer penalty-free access? Usually it does, but you must be working with a laser fund expert because how it's structured and how you access that money is everything. Make sure you work with experts like Doug Andrew, Aaron Andrew, and Emran Andrew, all at liveabundant.com. All at the link down below in the description. Can't emphasize that enough. Can you leverage your laser fund? Yes, you can leverage your laser fund. How wonderful is that? Can you use your laser fund as collateral? Yep, you sure can. Remember, with the laser fund, the answers are almost all yes. So I'm getting redundant, and I know you probably, if you've seen the other videos, you're like, okay, we've heard this. The laser fund's really wonderful. But sometimes it takes this many times to get through to people. You need to look into this. You need to learn how this works. So the last one, disability benefit. Does the laser fund provide for a disability benefit? Yes, it does. It's an insurance piece. So if you die, it blossoms, and whoever you leave it to, your family or whoever is supposed to inherit that money, a grandchild, an uncle, a nephew, or whoever you want to leave it to, they get double or more of the death benefit. So yes, it's absolutely a disability benefit, and a whole bunch of other benefits that I'm not even discussing in these videos. So there you have it, the difference between a laser fund and a personal residence. There's still a significant, huge difference between owning your own home and using that for retirement or as any kind of investment at all, and the laser fund. The laser fund just completely outperforms again. So these videos, I hope you watch all of them because each of them explain the nuances and the difference between all of the different popular investment options and ways people actually try to make more money and save themselves from losing money. So it's really curious too, because these videos are blowing out a lot of myths that people, a lot of other videos and YouTubers even, or even financial advisors promote, I should say, in their videos and also in their financial advice. And I'm not an expert, I'm not licensed, but I know even from these charts, from learning from liveabundant.com, the differences, and the differences are so obvious that anymore I couldn't stand it. I had to make this video series, this Better Than video series, to explain in detail why you need to look into this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We want you to be able to know every time we put up a new video and be able to share this information to help everybody, as many people out as possible. Because after this crash of this last week, there's going to be a lot of people scrambling to try and figure out what to do with the money they have left and how to get more money to be able to make sure they make it for the rest of their lives. Because you're going to have a lot of people coming out of retirement after what just happened. But that's a whole nother video. All right, so thanks for tuning in, guys. Tom from The Richest You. I'll see you next time.